Silat Gayung Fatani is an ancient form of martial art that has been and still is a very popular art of self-defense in Malaysia today. Silat Gayung Fatani is one of the local traditional forms of martial art that is widely spread throughout Malaysia. This ancient art of Silat was passed down from generation to generation as part of the ancient Malay warfare, or Malay art of war. Its origin was traced to the time of the ancient Malay kingdom of Langkasuka and Kedah Lama or Kedah Bruas, which ruled the northern Malay peninsula in the 6th century before the rise of Malacca and Majapahit. In time, its popularity spread to all of the Malay states. Locally, it was called Silat Pulut. Among all the branches of Silat Pulut in Malaysia, the best known is the art of Gayung Fatani Malaysia, successfully taught under the association of Gayung Fatani Malaysia. The association was officially registered on the 19th of September 1976. This new Silat Gayung Fatani is more systematic, with proper syllabus and is offered at primary and secondary levels, as well as for university students throughout Malaysia, with the approval of the Ministry of Education. Encik Anwar has been chosen by the panels of old masters to lead this martial arts school. He gained his expertise training under Tuan Guru, or Master Ambung Abdullah, who learned the art under Master Imam Mansur, a student of Master Fatih Ali, who inherited the teaching of its founder, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Tahir from Old Patani. The emblem of the Silat Gayung Fatani clearly states the word Pertubuhan Seni Gayung Fatani Malaysia, which means the association of the martial art of Gayung Fatani Malaysia. The yellow color represents the Malay rulers headed by the king. The green color represents Islam as the official religion and also a symbol of fertility. The red color represents bravery. The kris is the official weapon and represents Malay sovereignty, while the hand represents power and strength. There is no doubt of the role played by the kris in this Malay heritage of martial art. The kris, a symbol of Malay sovereignty, is the main weapon in Silat Gayung Fatani. Kris is a weapon used to pierce one's opponent. The skill with which the kris are used has to be mastered to enable a warrior to defeat his enemy. In the old Malay kingdom, kris was used by warriors and knights. For the ordinary people, the most common weapons used were cleavers and machetes. Both these weapons are used to hack one's opponent in a fight, a totally different way of fighting than when using the kris. However, besides kris, swords and small sickles are equally important choice of weapons in this branch of Silat. A sword not only can hack, but it can also slash and pierce. Not to mention the effect of a small but deadly sickle when used in a fight. In the teaching of Silat Gayung Fatani, traditional music are used to accompany the movements, as this will give a boost of self-confidence to the students of Silat to be more assured while training. In the olden days, musical instruments were used during war to keep up the fighting spirits and determination of the warrior. Today, its function is just to enliven the performance of the Silat and the enthusiasm of the students. One of the most important instruments is the drum that gives the rhythm and soul when fighters were engaged in a fight. In this branch of Silat, the type of drum used is called Gendang Ibu, the mother drum, and Gendang Anak, the baby drum. Besides drums, a double reed oboe-like instrument, flutes, and clarinets are among the important pieces of instruments to have. The sound of the flutes that plays the main notes can be very mesmerizing and will help students to thoroughly focus on their steps. Students of Silat wear traditional Malay costumes of black trousers and shirt, a black samping, a sarong worn over the trousers, and a black head kerchief complete the attire. Black is the chosen color as it symbolizes maturity. In addition, Silat is taught at night, therefore the black will trap the body heat to keep one warm in the cold of the night. And the black color is also a form of camouflage, as it blends in the night, making it difficult for the enemy to see you. Today, the art of Silat Gayung Fatani is based on a syllabus that is planned systematically and acknowledged by the Ministry of Culture, Art and Heritage. There are several levels for achievements that is defined by different colored belts. Among them are white belts for students who have been accepted into the arena, yellow belts for young students, green belts for the average students, red belts for young knights, and black belts for warriors.
Pelajaran yang pertama yang akan dipertontonkan berikut ini ialah bunga silat.
The configuration shown here is called bunga silat. This configuration consists of 7 footsteps, 7 trusses, and 7 hand movements. This type of silat does not mimic actions of any animals. It is more focused towards the natural movements of human beings when defending themselves. This is because human beings are born with thousands of abilities and specialities, which is then projected in this art of self-defense. During training, the steps are repeated over and over again from different angles as the attack might come in different directions. Observe the movements made by these students. Skills and speed are the utmost importance. Each step and movement have its own motive and reason. This exercise gives priority to the component of movement that focuses on the speed of the students. Indirectly, Silat is also a form of exercise towards a more healthy body and mind. On graduation day, each trainee will give a traditional salute as a sign of respect to the teachers and fellow students.
Seterusnya ialah jurus silat.
In the exercise of direct assault, or jurus silat, the focus is on how to attack your opponent. Observe how these students move with speed and agility while attacking. The ability to kick in a straight frontal kick, back kick, and left and right side kick is very important to master. Jurus is also a direct attack to the opponent face to face. This is why a fast reaction is needed to overcome your opponent. This exercise is also done repetitively until all the students are able to do it right.
Berikut ialah berlebat silat.
Silat is not just a form of attacks. As an art of self-defense, the element of defending oneself is very important. What these students are doing is a method or a way of sidestepping and averting attacks. In this exercise, students are taught to receive the assault by sidestepping and averting it. There are numerous ways to be learned by students as their opponents can attack from different positions and they have to be ready to avert these attacks. In this exercise, footwork skills is given the priority, especially if the students have to move backwards in order to counterattack.
Berikutnya ialah buah pukulan silat.
Practicing on how to strike also plays an important role in the test of efficiency and ability of the students of Silat. From previous exercises, students will be able to execute a few methods of striking. Footwork is important in this exercise. An experienced Silat practitioner can move spontaneously to strike and overcome an opponent. In this exercise, students will not just be tested on their physical fitness, but also on having a sharp mind to be able to move fast and execute the right steps when hassled or when they want to attack.
Pelajaran seterusnya ialah tapak silat.
One of the most important studies that all students must learn is footwork. In this exercise, students will be taught on what the pattern of footwork is during Silat. Students will be exposed to various methods of footwork. This will help strengthen the thrusters of the students and will inadvertently increase the physical fitness of the students. In this movement, you can see 4 steps of footwork in a striking mode.
Diberi kemahiran tempur seni silat.
Observe these 2 students engaging in hand-to-hand combat or a fight without using any weapon. Practitioners learn to use their bare hands as their weapons instead. In such situation, practitioners will use a variety of sensitive and attacking techniques by using their hands, elbows, arms, legs, knees and feet in a fight. Among the techniques used in this training are kicking, hitting, tripping, swiping, locking and tumbling. It is the norm in a fight that movements will change continuously. And as soon as one finds an opening in their opponent's defense, they should execute a fast counterattack to defeat their opponent. During this kind of training, a number of exercises such as leg work, sensitivity drill, and counterattacks will help develop important skills for the students. These exercises are taught in different stages, depending on the skill of the students. One of the main targets of this training is to get the students to the point where they can trust their bare hands as weapons, especially when they are under attack. If the training is practiced continuously, the students can perform the silat when under pressure.
Berikut kedua pesilat memperlihatkan persembahan permainan keris.
When a student becomes more skillful in the various steps of Silat, it is now time to train with weapons. As was mentioned before, the official weapon for this type of Silat is the kris. The exercise or action shown here is on how to stab and also to sidestep when you are fighting with an opponent who also uses the kris. Seeing these two students exercising with kris reminds us of the olden era of the Malay kingdom when warriors used this sacred weapon to fight. The usage of weapons during training is also a series of exercise for agility and stamina and to sharpen the mind for fast reflex.
Seterusnya, kedua pesilat mempersembahkan tempur menggunakan parang.
The art of fighting can also be seen as demonstrated by these two students, skillful in their usage of cleavers in an attack. Again, the speed to sidestep the assault is important in this type of exercise. Students not only have to avert the sidestep, but they also have to think fast and calmly on their feet to counter-attack. Observe the agility of movement by these two students. Both of them are very skillful and brilliant in averting and attacking. And of course, this type of exercise will reflect self-confidence and high fighting spirit that has always been related to the attitude of a Malay warrior. And this is a demonstration by two female students where one of them is using a cleaver and the other a sickle. Besides showing the steps on how to use weapons in a fight, they are also demonstrating the various ways to move in a fight where the opponent is using a different kind of weapon. The usage of cleaver and sickle also reflects the common weapons used by ordinary people in the olden days when they were engaged in a fight. This exercise also shows the passionate fighting spirit reflected by these two students. Their actions show that women are equal when it comes to fighting in Silat. The natural softness of a woman makes their body more flexible, and it serves as an edge for women to overcome their opponent. Besides being a ground test for agility, this exercise can increase the self-confidence of students, especially when they come face to face with danger.
dalam menghadapi lawan yang lebih ramai dalam tempur bertekong.
Remember, Silat is an art of self-defense if one is being attacked by an opponent. The next exercise is to show how a woman can defend herself when being attacked by a group of people. With the knowledge that was taught along with physical strength and agility, this girl demonstrates what should be done when faced with a similar situation. In this case, fast thinking plays a more important role. Students also have to be very aware of their surroundings. This is because the enemy might attack at the same time from different angles, and the students have to act quickly to overcome more than one opponent. And it is important to remember that one has to act calmly when being confronted by a group of people. A calm attitude will enable this student to think and take the right steps to save herself. And it is important to remember that one has to act calmly when being confronted by a group of people. A calm attitude will enable this student to think and take the right steps to save herself. This is another way to defend oneself when being attacked by a group of people. Although none of the opponents have weapons, it doesn't mean that the attack will be less dangerous. That is why students need to be aware of their surroundings and always practice to move with speed. As explained, the enemy might attack in various ways and methods. Never assume that weaponless attacks is easier to overcome. An expert practitioner with a lot of knowledge of Silat will know exactly how to react if he was suddenly attacked by a predator. And make sure that your counter-attack is quick enough to disable the opponent, rendering him useless for a comeback.
Berikut pesilat beramai-ramai secara bersama-sama menutup gelanggang dengan bunga silat sebagai tanda menghormati guru dan perguruan.
The demonstrations shown by these students are just routine rituals when they complete their training. This ritual is a common attraction for many people. That is why Silat is performed at public celebrations and official events. What is more interesting about Silat Gayung Fatani is that it not only reflects the attitude of past Malay warriors, it also has various elements of the Malay arts that make the Silat unique. It is the pride of all Malaysians then and today. At final curtain, the students performed the decorative stance of tribute as a show of respect to their teachers and fellow students.